Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp lit up again after a nearly 6-hour outage on Monday. Facebook apologised and initially could not say what caused the failure. But the company later said the problem was a faulty configuration change. CEO Mark Zuckerberg posted on Facebook, quote, "Sorry for the disruption today. I know how much you rely on our services to stay connected with the people you care about." Shares fell nearly 5% for Facebook, but later rose 0.5% in after-hours trade after the platforms rebooted. Several Facebook employees who declined to be named said that they believed that the outage was caused by an internal mistake in how internet traffic is routed to its systems. Facebook lost about $545,000 in US ad revenue per hour during the outage. That's according to ad measurement firm Standard Media Index.
For the first time, CNN has interviewed a former member of Chinese security forces who tells CNN he was routinely ordered to arrest and torture Uyghur detainees in truly horrific and barbaric ways. China denies accusations from the United States that it has detained up to 2 million Uyghurs, many of them Muslim, in a system of modern-day internment camps in the Xinjiang region in northwestern China.
They would touch the electric stick here, and it's just like burning.
This is the story of a victim and a self-confessed torturer.
Did the police officers use electric batons to shock prisoners?
Yes, everyone uses different methods.
For years, stories of arbitrary arrests, unspeakable cruelty, and mass internment camps have been trickling out of China's Xinjiang region.
Pakistan's Secret Service is coming under scrutiny over possible involvement in the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan. Pakistan has long maintained ties with the Taliban. Some of the Taliban's new government ministers were educated in religious universities there. Now there are claims Pakistani intelligence helped the Taliban consolidate its hold over Afghanistan.
Darul Uloom Haqqaniya University in Pakistan. From here, it's not far to the Afghan border. Foreigners are not welcome here. The university is known as the Madrasa of Jihad and is considered a training ground for Taliban fighters. In the 1980s, the Pakistan and US Secret Services also recruited here for the Mujahideen's fight against the occupying Soviet forces. Today, the university says none of its students receive military training, nor are they obliged to join the fight in Afghanistan.
So after nearly 3 years investigating the French Catholic Church, a commission says about 330,000 children were victims of sexual abuse over 70 years. The landmark report says about 3,000 child abusers, 2/3 of whom were priests, operated within the church since the 1950s. The report details what it calls a complete indifference on the part of the church towards the victims. Catholic bishops in France called for an independent inquiry in 2018 to shed light on past abuses.
Two weeks of protests by angry Eastern Sudan tribes have brought operations at Port Sudan to a standstill. The protesters from the Bija and Hadandawa tribes have blocked roads and exits to the port, forcing it to close. This in protest at what they say is the region's lack of political power and poor economic conditions. The protesters are also angry with a deal the transitional government signed with Sudan's rebel groups in October last year in the South Sudanese capital, Juba. Widely known as the Juba Accord, the deal includes a wealth-sharing agreement as well as reparations for those hurt by the country's long conflict.
India is the latest country to face a severe energy crisis, with the country's power plants running low on supply. Local outlets reported Monday that most of India's coal power plants had less than 3 days of inventory left because the country's recently cut down on imports amid surging international coal prices. India had failed to produce enough coal because of heavy monsoon rain, which affected its production and mining. India is not the only country to suffer from a rise in coal prices. China has also experienced large-scale power cuts, with major cities blacking out and electricity rationing enforced.
A train station in Tucson, Arizona, erupting in chaos, an exchange of gunfire sending passengers fleeing. A call for help as an armed suspect engaged in a shootout with 2 DEA agents and 1 Tucson police officer. One of the federal agents killed on the train and the second seriously injured. The Tucson police officer also shot and now in stable condition. The exchange taking place after the agents from the Regional Counter-Narcotics Alliance boarded the train for a routine inspection.
They detained basically one individual, and while they were dealing with one individual, a second individual, Hispanic male by appearance, somewhere in his 20s to 30s, produced a handgun and opened fire on the officer.
A human rights worker for the Norwegian Refugee Council claims that up to 5,000 refugees may have been detained in Libya since Friday. The allegations were made on Sunday, following a crackdown on Friday by the Libyan police force against migrants. According to the UN, the operation resulted in at least 1 dead migrant and 15 injured. The Libyan authorities claimed at least 4,000 detentions, including women and children.
Старт. Ух, пошла. Фух. Вы не поверите, я вспотел. Это ж... Я очень рад, что смог при этом вот таким образом присутствовать.
Появление в камере сгорания в норме.
Поехали. Вообще, вот они все счастливые, улыбаются. Вот, ну как вы думаете?